Are you sure reality works without errors? Sometimes a camera accidentally catches something that should not exist. Cars appear out of nowhere. People freeze in the middle of the street. Reflections show objects that are not there. And scientists record particles as if they had flown in from a world where time moves backward. And the most frightening thing is that this is no longer just one strange recording from the internet. There are becoming far too many such cases, and some of them cannot be explained by an ordinary optical illusion. Today you will see footage after which the phrase "glitch in the matrix" will stop sounding like a joke. And closer to the end, we will get to discoveries that hint. Parallel worlds may not be science fiction, but a part of reality that the universe itself hides from us. Watch until the end, because in this episode, the strangest thing will not begin right away, but only when you already decide that you have understood everything. I wish you pleasant viewing. We have video from a surveillance camera that became famous as the phenomenon of being saved by a ghost. Call it whatever you want, but the outcome is obvious. On a night street, one man is standing in front of a door, while a second man, who looks like him, walks past. Suddenly, as he draws level with him, he lightly taps the standing man on the back, as if he wants to distract him and make him move away from that spot. The maneuver seems strange and incomprehensible until a car rushes past. A massive metal object flies out of it, and it would have struck the standing man exactly where he had been, if not for that warning. How do you like that twist? A coincidence? Well, fine. But have you ever had the feeling that someone was stopping you, or, on the contrary, that an inner voice was saying, "Run"? The man who approached from behind seems completely normal. He does not look like a crazy prankster. Moreover, he did not even turn around to check whether the car would hit that person. How did he know what was supposed to happen? It is also strange that he did not say anything and made do with a touch. The next video caused a lot of discussion about a year ago. So, a man named Eddie from the California town of Fresno, which is already well known to us thanks to cryptids, published a video in which we see the windows of a shopping center, and in them, the reflection of a sporty orange Corvette C8. Naturally, we assume that such a car is parked somewhere opposite, but the oddity is that no one found it in the parking lot. The author of the video moves the camera around several times, constantly asking, "Where is this car? I seriously do not see it anywhere." This video immediately went viral. Hundreds of commenters tried to understand what was creating the reflection. Guesses poured in. Someone said, "Finally, proof has been found that we live in a simulated world. Our picture is an artificially created matrix." Other attentive commenters also pointed out other strange details in this video. Two mannequins are sitting on a bench, and nearby there is a strange sign with the words "bird bath," to which one viewer responded with a joke, asking whether birds that cannot read would find it. It seemed that not everything in this parking lot was right at all. Mysticism is contained not only in rumors, but also in combinations of numbers and certain objects. What would you do if, while walking through a park, you came across this? You arrive at a small square and want to rest on a bench, but all of them are occupied. 4 black cats have taken them, each on a separate bench. They sit in identical positions on the edges of their benches, as if taking part in a meeting of a feline cult, waiting for the arrival of an important participant. And yes, it really looks as if someone copied the image and pasted the same cat again and again. If only they were at least different colors. But black cats already have a bad reputation because of superstitions. And in a row of 4, they look like a council of darkness that promises nothing good. Even in the children's song about little devils, it is mentioned that there were 4 of them, and they were drawing a drawing with black ink. I myself am not superstitious, but I would not risk sitting nearby. Would you? Everything connected with cemetery stories already makes you shudder with curiosity mixed with a little devilry. The inscription on the tombstone bearing the name Lily E. Gray says that she lived for 77 years, from June 1881 to November 1958. But there is something eerie about this monument that sends an unpleasant chill down the spine. Besides the strange image resembling garlic, there's an addition here saying that Lily became a victim of the beast, and his number is 666. It really makes you stop and think. If only one could take a Ouija board, summon the spirit, and talk to Lily. Perhaps only then would it be possible to find out what really happened. You will agree that not every grave monument has something like Victim of the Beast 666 written on it. Maybe that was exactly the intention of those who left the inscription. What if someone is found who can solve this puzzle? Let us turn to the blue abyss of the ocean. It is probably studied as poorly as outer space. Now you will hear an audio recording that demonstrates sounds similar to those with which the damn monster kraken crawls out from the depths of the Mariana Trench. So, a submarine descended into the deepest fissure on Earth. To their horror, the scientists there heard an unidentified sound, so terrifying that it seemed to them as if giant claws were scraping into the walls of the vessel. This strange noise, now known to science as the Western Pacific Biotwang, was recorded several times between 2014 and 2015. The soundtrack is a complex short signal consisting of 5 parts: a low moan, then high-frequency metallic sounds lasting from 2.5 to 3.5 seconds. At first, experts could not identify this song, and that gave various absurd theories a chance to appear. But in the end, scientists from Oregon State University, using autonomous underwater vehicles, found out that this sound is made by bride's whales, most likely using it as navigation, an echo sounder in the dark waters of the deepest place in the ocean. How else could they find one another in the endless expanses and in the darkness? But here is the mystery. You see, in ordinary life, whales produce similar sounds only when flirting, offering a date. And this concert breaks all the rules, playing its melody all year round at the bottom of the trench. No one knows, maybe we really are hearing the call of Cthulhu, the cosmic monster with the head of an octopus. And now we are at the main topic: shifts of realities, or several versions, parallel worlds. What we are about to see cannot fit into our usual idea of time. We believe that past events disappear without a trace. But where then do ghosts come from? Now you will be surprised. Before us is a scene of police examining a wrecked car. An ordinary accident, it seems. But no. This case became widely known as the car crash with the ghost car. On December 11, 2002, British police received several calls from eyewitnesses. They reported that some car had left the road and fallen into a ditch near an exit from the highway in Surrey. Police arrived at the scene, expecting to deal with a fresh accident and perhaps help a driver in trouble. But they discovered something very strange. At first, the officers did not notice anything unusual, just another crash site, routine work for them. But when they came closer, they noticed that an old car, long overgrown, was lying in the ditch. Even more horrifying was that they also found the driver, but he was no longer alive, and as was clear, he had not been alive for a very long time. It had been not hours, but months since his death. The man's body was identified as missing person Christopher Brian Chandler, whose search had begun several months earlier. Judging by the condition of the car and the body, the police established that the accident had happened 5 months earlier, in July of that same year. Christopher's family confirmed that he had disappeared on those dates and had been considered missing. But the question is, what did people see on that cold December night when they called the police? No other accidents were found nearby. Some believe that what appeared to them was a glitch in the matrix of reality, a kind of ghost car, a glimpse into another temporal dimension, as if it were a reflection of the past or a hologram. The event itself is no longer there, but its image, its imprint in the present is. Could this have been a shift in time, when an accident from the past somehow manifested in the current moment? There were supporters of the hypothesis that the reports about the accident themselves came not from the present time, but from a parallel universe or one of its branches, exactly as science fiction novels tell it. And the car, in their opinion, appeared in real time only for a short moment before disappearing. We will probably never receive an exact answer as to how a single puzzle was assembled piece by piece from different times. But this story will serve as a wonderful example of how strange the space familiar to us can be. And perhaps irreversibility exists only in our consciousness, while space and time have many sleeves into which one can enter freely simply by putting a hand through. Another strange video with a car. At an intersection in a Russian city, a classic situation. A car is preparing to turn left, a tram is waiting on the right for the green traffic light, and everything is going as usual. But when the car enters the intersection, another random participant in traffic suddenly appears on the right and sharply cuts it off, almost colliding with it. How can one understand where this reckless car came from? If it had not been visible standing on the right at the traffic light, and its trajectory of movement is straight, as if it drove out from the tram tracks, its speed is much higher than a car develops while turning. So does that mean this black phantom car is from a parallel reality? Otherwise, why did they not hit each other? Do you also agree that this driver could not have flown into the intersection so fast that he did not get caught by the camera, even if he had been in the blind spot of the mirrors? And this reckless driving also suggests that a demon is behind the wheel. Maybe that strange accident with the ghost car happened in a similar way, and realities became mixed? However absurd it may sound, I am waiting for drivers' opinions on this. In this classic fragment from the dash cam of a police car, Officer Wayne Daniels is pursuing a white car. While fleeing, it swerves through traffic, performing every possible maneuver in order to escape the chase. It also behaves as if an evil spirit has entered the car, and now we will be convinced of that. Up to a certain point, we saw a fairly standard car chase, until the white car suddenly turns left and drives through a fence. Yes, straight through an iron barrier, without breaking through it and without receiving damage. All Officer Wayne Daniels can do now is watch as the violator disappears into the distance behind the unharmed barrier. The thought suggests itself. How quickly did the police officer manage to brake, and what was the point of this chase at all then? If the white car was a ghost, it could have simply vanished right away, instead of wasting time on a game of catch-up. It is another matter if he wanted to take someone with him into another reality. These are my guesses, but what do you think? Things even more frightening happened to drivers. Late at night, a truck driver in Mexico was transporting cargo. Nothing strange, just another long trip going normally, until the hard-working supervisor decided to check on him through the webcam. He saw something that made goosebumps run over his skin. On the passenger seat next to the driver sat a woman resembling a doll, pale, in old-fashioned clothing. At first, the manager thought the driver had picked up a hitchhiker or taken a girlfriend with him, although that contradicted company policy. So he wrote the driver a message. "What kind of passenger is that?" The driver, confused, decided that his boss was making fun of him. So upon arriving at the destination, he went into the office to sort things out. And then the manager showed him the recording from the dash cam in the cab. The driver was horrified, claiming that he had been driving alone the entire time. But it is obvious that someone who had been sitting next to him for the whole trip was captured on video. Who could it have been? If the driver had wanted to hide the fact of a violation, he would not have come to the office himself. If it had been a woman in modern clothes who sat there chatting with the driver, we would have said, "Everyone has their weaknesses." But here, something is clearly wrong with this woman. She is motionless and pale as a ghost. If the driver does not have the odd habit of taking a rubber mannequin with him, then he will probably tell you that this was the creepiest episode of his life. it is unlikely he will be able to drive alone now. In 2007, a surveillance camera in a courthouse in Santa Fe recorded something strange early in the morning. Something glowing flashed across the footage. A white, shapeless mass simply floats through the frame. An object or a shadow, it was not moving quickly, but rather seemed to be crawling. People on the internet, of course, immediately began calling the image a ghost. And what else can be said here? A courthouse is a place where dramas play out every day. But the arguers were equally puzzled by one thing. The way the silhouette moves does not look like a reflection from glass or a filming glitch. It seems that the shadow exists in reality in a way different from ordinary material objects. Of course, the official explanation ended with the claim that a bug was crawling on the lens. That can happen too, but do you really think this looks like an insect? Now let us look at a story about an inexplicable movement through space. A shepherd from Russia once woke up in the morning and could not find his flock of sheep. Usually he found them where he had left them for the night, but not today. The man went searching and, to his surprise, discovered the whole flock standing on the roof. Even if these had not been domestic sheep but mountain goats, there's no obvious way for them to climb up there. In any case, we know of no secret sheep portal or elevator. The man assumed that they had been badly frightened by something. But how the hell can a flock of sheep in panic silently make such an ascent? Even if someone decided to play a foolish prank and carry them up by hand, it could not have happened without sounds. There's a feeling that they teleported upward, as if some glitch happened on a video game screen. Do you have any opinions on this? This photograph became quite famous in the community of UFO researchers. It is called the Calvine photograph. The government of the United Kingdom hid it in secret archives for decades. Perhaps it is one of the best frames of a UFO and real proof of the existence of parallel universes, captured on camera. Its story is as follows. In 1990, two chefs from a hotel went for a walk in the Scottish Highlands, not far from a place called Calvin. They went out to breathe fresh air and admire the beautiful view when suddenly they noticed a massive diamond-shaped object hanging in the sky. That was when they managed to take a very clear image. It was sent to a newspaper, but instead of publishing it, the publication immediately passed it on to the Ministry of Defense, where the photograph disappeared without a trace for more than 30 years. Only in 2022 did a journalist named David Clark finally obtain it from the archive. It turned out that a former press officer of the Royal Air Force had been keeping a copy all along. The journalist brought in a photography expert for analysis, and guess what? No signs of falsification were found in the image. It is authentic. So what is it? A real UFO? Not necessarily alien, perhaps, but definitely unidentified. I have only one question for the editorial office. In the 90s, not every cook, even a chef, had a mobile phone with a good camera. So, it turns out the friends went into the woods with professional equipment? What thoughts do you have? Yes, I am also looking for the catch. Each of us, while walking down the street, can freeze in place for a second, staring at the clouds, an advertisement, or simply becoming lost in thought. But in this video, we will see something else. On a busy street, a woman seems to have frozen on the sidewalk. It is clear that this is not a poster and not a static image. Cars drive past, sounds can be heard, but the woman stands like a statue. And after a few moments, she returns to reality and continues walking. This video gained more than 5.5 million views, and thousands of comments gave rise to many theories. Most of them, of course, directly pointed to simulation, saying that we are dealing with an imitation of a video game. Indeed, while she is standing there, cars pass by, and her hair is completely motionless. It does not flutter in the wind as it would if the woman had simply frozen for a second, remembering whether she had turned off the iron at home. This moment with the hair is especially strange. And according to the author of the video, she had already been standing there for about a minute before he began recording. Maybe someone hypnotized her? Share your thoughts, even if you think it is fake. Then how could it have been made? Usually, selections like this include stories about disappearing airplanes, but we will offer you something else. If we are talking about glitches in the Matrix, they might look approximately like this. Here, we have an airplane that also seems to be frozen in the sky. The footage was taken by a girl who was driving along a road in Chicago when she noticed that the airplane above her car seemed to have stopped in midair. According to her, this was not the first observation of a similar effect. The most surprising thing in this case is the altitude, or, on the contrary, how low the airplane is. There were other videos in which people were surprised by an airplane frozen in the sky, but in them it was usually much higher. In those cases, optical illusions can arise quite easily. Here too, it is quite likely that the overlay of speeds and directions of moving objects creates a visual deception. But if we assume that glitches in the space-time continuum are possible, then they would look as close to this as possible. The next video resembles a film set with decorations. The empty settlement with townhouses looks far too unlike real life. The author of the story captioned it in the comments exactly this way: "Why are identical cars parked in this empty neighborhood?" Indeed, the cars are new, of the same brand and even the same model. Only the colors differ, and the parking spaces by the houses also look not quite lived in. Let us reason. What other strange coincidences are there? All the cars are backed into the driveways. Not one was driven in front first. They all shine as if they had just rolled off the assembly line. The most logical explanation is that this is a settlement of auto plant workers who can buy their own company's products at reduced prices. But I immediately came up with two counter-arguments. Why would anyone buy two identical black cars? And the second, during the day, workers are usually at the workplace. So why are the cars standing near the houses? Do they all work the night shift? Many of us remember the socialist system, when clothes, cars, and even street names in all cities were the same. But even if we are dealing with Zweite Arbeitenstrasse, by analogy with the famous "the irony of fate," I cannot shake the strange feeling that this is some kind of installation. There are not even flowers on the lawns or signs of life in the houses. What if someone bought the entire neighborhood and then turned it into a car showroom? I cannot wait to learn your opinion. Leave it in the comments. Again, identical, but not one and the same. Look, we have two photos. These are two guys, not one person. One is named Brady Fiegel, and the other is named Brady Fiegel. I am not joking, I simply showed two photographs. Are they twins? Now you are joking. With the same name? Technically, no. Are they not brothers and not even relatives? Just two very similar guys who have a lot in common besides appearance. Both played baseball in the minor leagues at the same time, have the same height of 193 centimeters, and are 50% of German ancestry. In short, just coincidences. Something else is strange. The fact that these two live so close to one another, as if some glitch occurred in our simulation of reality. Any system glitches, and suddenly someone controlling everything we see simply got lazy, copied and pasted these two guys into reality with very minor differences. Then, who knows? What if all people are actually a set of clones randomly scattered across the planet? There really are many of us, too many, among billions, to single out a group of 1,000 identical types. How do you like that interpretation? Personally, I would not want to find out that there are another 100,000 guys like me, and that a couple or three namesakes with my face live somewhere nearby. Cloning is not limited to earthly objects. People in different parts of the world filmed a phenomenon that looks absurd. Two luminaries should not appear in the sky at the same time. In these frames, we see one bright sun and next to it, a second one that looks slightly smaller, but still shines like a real celestial body. Naturally, all eyewitnesses were greatly confused by what was happening. But comments were not long in coming, and here they are. Someone considered the double to be merely lens flare. Others claimed that the second sun really was in the sky. By the way, scientists also studied this phenomenon. For example, Jim Kaler, an astronomer from the University of Illinois, suggested that it was probably some kind of atmospheric optical illusion, when light bends in a strange way because of layers of moisture in the air, or during sharp changes in temperature. But even he was not 100% sure what exactly had happened. Mirages. Projections are usually located vertically, one above the other. But this double sun is located side by side, which is less logical. Therefore, no one knows exactly what caused the distortion. Grant Perry, another scientist, said directly, "This is not a common optical phenomenon." So yes, maybe it was simply an unusual play of light that played a trick on us. Or, if we cannot understand what is in front of us, do we simply not know something? I will give you a hint about how to see two suns without deception. In the morning at sunrise, squint slightly, and you will see them. Each eye will give you its own version of the luminary. How about that? Now, about the unknown. Ball lightning is a rare, unexplained phenomenon that looks like a glowing ball of electricity. It most often floats in the air during a thunderstorm, but sometimes approaches objects, remaining active from several seconds to minutes. Eyewitnesses have described balls of different sizes, from a golf ball to a basketball. Sometimes the lightning is bright white, or it glows blue or orange. Its behavior is strange, unpredictable, and does not obey any ordinary rules. The paradox is that scientists still do not really know how it works. Maybe it is plasma or some kind of gas interacting with electrical charges, or something completely different. No one has ever been able to reproduce such a miracle in a laboratory, and studying it in nature, as you understand, is unrealistic. The ball is elusive. It appears suddenly and then disappears. But there are eyewitness accounts of the properties of ball lightning flying into houses through closed windows or emerging out of nowhere like invisible beings. Maybe this is some rare, not natural phenomenon that we simply do not understand at all. For example, what if it is not electricity at all? Maybe this is actually an intrusion from another dimension, an echo of something like cosmic clumps. There is still much in space that we have not studied. Here's an example showing that, besides galaxies, stars, and planets, there are many different substances and objects there. For example, these massive round clumps that are visible in images obtained with the help of radio telescopes. And no one really knows what they are. They were first discovered in 2020, when astronomers were mapping the sky using the Australian radio telescope ASCAP. These enormous rings appeared out of nowhere, perfectly round, very large, and unlike anything scientists had found before. They were not galaxies, not stars, and not supernova remnants. Some experts stated that the clumps may be the result of enormous explosions or collisions in very distant places, radio traces from cosmic shockwaves. But other researchers believe that they may be connected with galaxies that have active black holes at their centers. But as long as there is no recognized explanation, we always have the opportunity to accept the fact that these clumps may be an entirely new phenomenon to which we cannot yet give a name. Again, the unexplained, but in a micro version. Here you see a fragment of a so-called Kirlian photograph, a special method of obtaining images, or more precisely, photographing their aura. It is based on a gaseous glow that appears around an object under the influence of a high-voltage electromagnetic field. Thus, the electrical discharge that passes through the object becomes visible. In 1939, Soviet scientist Semyon Kirlian experimented in this way. If a high-voltage current is applied to an object and it is photographed, strange glowing contours appear around the object. In this way, he photographed plants, apples, and hands. Suddenly, all of them began to look as if some kind of electrical aura had appeared around them. It was like photographing their life energy, or perhaps something incomprehensible to us, but present in another reality. People still argue about what actually glows around objects. Some say it is simply moisture, static electricity, or something else. Let us take that into account and note that here we are talking about the strange and unexplained. What if the glow is something deeper, a glimpse into another layer of space, something we cannot see with our own eyes? In many cultures, there is the concept of both an aura and life force, such as the Japanese energy ki. Some even claim that these energy fields change depending on our mood or state of health. And if you believe in theories of parallel worlds, then you are literally observing how energy from another dimension manifests in real time. For example, we all understand that such a thing as the soul exists in all beings, and it is precisely what makes the body alive, not only the processes of vital activity. But we cannot see it, although we understand. When some substance leaves the body, death occurs, or sleep. What if there is a special method that allows us to reveal this mystery of existence, which has given us no peace for thousands of years? I'm waiting for your comments on the topic. Can an electrical installation take pictures of alternative layers of reality? Let us look at everyday cases that only intensify doubts about the single-layer nature of the universe. This girl, named Jade Gonzalez, claims that she experienced a glitch in the Matrix. She shared surveillance camera video from the restaurant where she works. At that moment, she was cutting lemons into quarters when something very strange happened. Watch carefully. She cuts the lemon twice, in half, and then cuts one of the halves. She's about to put them into a bag, and then she gets distracted. A second later, the girl, in complete astonishment, picks up half of the lemon lying in the same place, but it is whole, as if the matrix had been rewound, not those seconds ago, while the half had not yet become 2 quarters. In the end, she had to repeat the actions, wondering what had happened. Is it possible that she did not cut the lemon all the way through? Hardly. We saw everything ourselves. But judging by her words, she picked up a whole half again. The pieces could not have grown back together in a second. Let some meticulous commenters mention that they supposedly noticed a certain yellowish flash that appeared around the lemon while the girl turned away. Allegedly, after this flash, the parts became whole again. I do not know, guys. Perhaps we have an interspatial glitch with a lemon here, or colleagues who do not mind pranking one another. What do you think? A glitch or still a prank? And now seriously, scientifically, about the incomprehensible. The Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna, or ANITA for short. That is the name of an experiment funded by NASA. Its goal was to capture and study radio waves emitted by high-energy cosmic particles known as neutrinos when they interact with the Antarctic ice sheet. During its flights, ANITA recorded several strange events when particles seemed to move upward through Earth rather than coming down from space as they should have. Scientists were confused because this absolutely should not have been happening. Particles like neutrinos had never before passed through Earth in this way. That is, in human language, we are dealing with the flow of time and space, going inside out, that is, backward. One of the hypotheses specifically attributes these anomalies to evidence for the existence of a parallel universe, where the laws of physics, including the direction of time, are reversed. Imagine a clock hanging on the wall, and the hand moves in a mirror image. In this scenario, particles coming from a mirror universe may move upward through our planet. What do you think? Then, has everything that has not yet happened in our world already happened somewhere? And is this film simply being rewound backward now? You will most likely ask, where are all these alternative versions of the past, present, and future stored? Then, there must be some kind of hub for them, as spacious as the space where our official version of the universe fits. Look at what scientists managed to find out. What you see here is known as the cold spot, which is hidden in the depths of space. Back in 2004, astronomers discovered an anomaly in the cosmic microwave background, which they characterized as a faint light echo of the Big Bang. It has been established that this spot is noticeably colder than its surroundings, and it stretches for approximately 1.8 billion light years. Initially, experts explained it as an enormous supervoid, a massive region with fewer galaxies. There are some doubts suggesting that the void may not be as large or, forgive the tautology, as empty as they thought. What does that mean? The mismatch led some researchers to wonder whether the so-called cold spot could be the result of a collision between our universe and some other bubble universe during the early stages of cosmic inflation, that is, constant expansion. Such a collision could have left an imprint in the microwave background, and this means that this fact may serve as evidence for the existence of parallel universes. Everyone already knows that soon, everything that exists will be pulled into a black hole. We are on a one-way path. In 2019, scientists posted on the internet what looked like a blurry orange donut and essentially blew up the scientific world. Discussions lasted for weeks. People saw the first real photo evidence of the existence of a black hole, which was captured by the so-called Event Horizon Telescope. Technically, we will not see the black hole itself. That is impossible, like trying to distinguish a black cat in a dark room. But we can observe glowing gas and distortions of light at the edges of the black hole. This ring is the event horizon, a one-way ticket to nowhere, or, who knows, somewhere else. You see, theoretical physicists such as Nikodem Poplawski believe that black holes may not simply absorb matter into nothingness, but serve as gateways into other universes. His theory states that when matter collapses into a black hole, it may not be destroyed, but instead is directed into a completely new universe on the other side. Imagine that every black hole is a big bang for another reality. Indeed, it is difficult for the mind to imagine these concepts themselves. Nowhere, nothing. And if something is destroyed, then what should be done with the law of conservation of energy? All these concepts are not fantasies. They are based on deep knowledge of theoretical physics. So far, no one can prove this. Forgive the pun again, practically or physically, but the hypothesis supports the idea of multiverses instead of the theory of one great beginning. So maybe this blurry cosmic donut is not just a hole. Maybe it is a door. Have you never felt that with every year, time flies faster? Let us turn to the conclusions of scientific discoveries. So, the universe is expanding faster than it should, and scientists cannot understand why. This strange mystery is called the Hubble tension. To explain this, researchers from the University of New Mexico and the University of California, Davis, proposed a theory of a mirror world. Yes, they believe that there exists a full-fledged parallel universe consisting of so-called shadow particles. Correct, like night and day, light and shadow, reality and its reflection. Exact copies of the particles that exist in the universe, but invisible. They can be detected only with the help of gravity. It is said that this hidden dimension may influence how we perceive expansion, and perhaps even be the source of dark matter. It supposedly makes up most of the universe, but observing it is impossible. The idea of a mirror world is not entirely new, but until recently it was not connected with solving the Hubble problem. Now scientists think it may become the missing link that makes the mathematics of the universe work. No one is saying that we have, confirmed the existence of parallel universes right now. But if this turns out to be true, it may completely change our understanding of the cosmos. Write in the comments everything you think about this. Be sure to share your observations and strange stories, and subscribe to the Top Facts channel for selections of the most incredible facts and videos from all over the internet. Thank you for watching, and right now, watch the previous incredible episodes that have already appeared on your screen.